it going? How have you been? Are you excited for later in the week? Oh. Ooh. Okay, well that's good. Delicious food and future no pain is a good thing. Well, I mean, there will definitely be pain after the surgical thing, surgery recovery, but once that's done with, it should be all gone. Hey, unknown. How goes? Bad. Yes. You can also provide distractions. Go on about my brain rot. That's always Brain rot is always an option. Oh god. Hmm. Brain rot. Okay. Um. I was bemoaning last night that I would have to write some flirting scenes. Like, oh shit. Right. Like, I have all the subtlety of a brick. Yeah, we all know this. I'm like, even in here, the flirting is pretty obvious. I'm kind of relying on everyone not having the emotion, not really having much of emotional maturity for it to work. Yes, Becky stopped in and was very much like, yes, I can't write, and I can't write. Becky was like, and I can't write romance with without hefty doses of sarcasm, which is true. She needs the hefty dose of sarcasm. So I need I need to write flirting scenes with Valdemar and Narender, my the two objects of my brain rot right now. So it's like, all right, one is in Skyrim, one is a Nord, and they are very direct and straightforward people, and the other one is a dark elf, and they are just culturally prone to machinations and subtlety and the fine art of diplomacy and, very careful assassinations. So, but Arander is also a priest of Mara, former member of an evil nightmare cult, and general bad news type of person. It's like, ah. And Valdemar is a golden retriever. Even in the game, like with the followers, usually if you ask them to carry something for you, Lydia, the one most people know because she's the first one you get, is sometimes polite. Sometimes she's like, oh, it's like, do you need anything? It's like, what can I do for you, my thane? But typically she snarks at you. She's like, I am sworn to carry your burdens. Like you can hear the eye roll in her voice. I love it. But Voldemort, if you go to hand, the first time they go to hand him something in the game, he goes, yes, Malish? Do you need something? Can I carry anything for you? It's like, he's very eager to please. You offer, or you let Arander you ask him to carry something. He's like, oh, running out of room? And you're like, sure, I'll carry something for you. Like, yeah. He's very, chill about it. So you have these personalities. But Arander's also racked by guilt. He is of the crew the Sad Wet Cat. And he's constantly talks about how he is racked by guilt. Hey, Monkey Villages. How goes? Good morning, Proboscia. How are you all doing? Up is good. So, yeah, I need to write some of the flirting scenes, and it's just going to be absolute madness because, yeah, I have these characters who are like that. They're just like that. It's like, oh great, what am I going to do with them? And these different personality types. I'm like, thank goodness Lydia is Aero, and yes. I mean, oh, at least I wrote her as that, because she feels like that to me. She just does. She's got those vibes. Yes, Monkey Villages. I've been fully consumed by the brain rot of my Skyrim fanfic, which is great actually because doing backgrounds is super monotonous. It's like really nice for my brain to have something to chew on while I'm doing this. I really love that. I should probably put her backpack. No, different. Yeah, trying to develop it and been trying to use what little lore the game can give me onto their behavior. But I also take into account that one of them is a priest of Mara. Well, right now, Valdemar is trying to flirt more with Arander, but he doesn't really know where the line is. So I think he's okay. Lords, it would seem, in the game, they are very straightforward. They're very blunt. They're very direct. Typically, not the most shrewd. At least, not a ton of guile there. Just maybe not shrewd isn't the right word. Guile isn't a very highly praised trait. I don't think they have a lot traditionally. Um, so yeah. But it does generally seem to increase, at least the subtlety and ability to be subtle seems to increase with education. And Valdemar is, he's a warrior, he's with me, but he's also a battle mage. He's studied. And Nords typically do not do magic. They actually have a great distrust of magic. In the game, if you actually ask about learning magic, they're like, why would you want to do that? They literally are wondering either why you want to do that, or they're like, what are you going to do, get yourself blown up? Because there's a college of magic in Skyrim, and long ago, something exploded near the college, or no one really knows what the hell caused it, but there was a massive explosion, and a big chunk of the city of Winterhold was lost. And so no one really trusts magic. Like, they don't trust it a lot. Like, there's actually not a lot of mages in the game. And the ones you run into, most are evil. But you have Valdemar, this warrior, this strong, proud warrior type guy who has no problem with magic. He likes magic. He has no problem putting a sword through somebody. He's very good at that. He's very good at hitting people with a gigantic ass warhammer. But for him, he's the out of mana but not out of options guy. It's like, yes, actually, definitely, because poor Arander is terribly racked with guilt for what he did years ago and for the person he used to be, because he was a terrible person. And in the game, constantly talks about how he was a terrible person. and he's killed a bunch of people. He's awful, like used to be. And you have Voldemort, and I definitely want to have a line, something like to write in a line for him. Because my character, because it's a journal style fanfic, so I'm not really writing a lot of dialogue unless it's really important or something I think would stick in my character's mind. And I want to write something along the lines of, because Mara is the goddess of love and benevolence and fertility, but love, all types of love. There is actually a goddess kind of mostly devoted to the physical aspect, but Mara is the goddess of, but she's also, basically sort of that goddess is also devoted to like pleasure in general. But a lot of people just tend to focus on the sex aspect of her. Mara is focused on love, like all types of love, all of it. And I do want to have Voldemort say something, have a line, something along the lines of, for a priest of Mara, you don't have much, you don't keep any love for yourself. As Arander actually, like, he actually has pity, like one of his lines in the game is like, these poor souls, like when you come upon the Draugr, which are basically like zombies, he calls them poor souls. Like, he's the only one, like, the idea of the dead rising makes him sick, which he actually says he can't stand that idea, but Draugr specifically are bound to protect the tombs they are in. That's what they do. So he is very sorry for them. It's like, you actually have pity for the zombies trying to eat our faces. Oh my god. Can you be any more pure? Look at you. Oh my goodness. Sir. Yeah, but you nailed it, G1. He is very much someone who doesn't really think highly of himself and probably doesn't think he deserves anything that nice. I don't think he thinks he deserves anything nice for himself. Because he did terrible things and he I don't know if Voldemort would be that direct, but not the last bit. He might appeal to the fact that, like, how else will you fully understand? It's like, huh? You have to fully understand. He was probably like, Mara loves you. Mara loves everyone, except that she loves you. Probably one of those, are you too good? Are you too good for this? What is this? They'd be like, what is this? And Voldemort's luckily older, because, like, my character is probably in her mid to late 20s. Lydia actually I think is younger, potentially early to mid 20s. Voldemort is older. He looks like he is, if not middle-aged, close to. Arander, no one knows how old he is. Even chronologically, we're guessing he's solidly middle-aged for a Dunmer, for like a dark elf, definitely. But because he was in a nightmare cult and some of the rituals involve being asleep for, months at a time, maybe, or even years, while they go out and, do the evil nightmare goddess's bidding. And the sleep is designed to suspend aging and everything. Like, you're basically in suspended animation. I don't know how old he is. Like, physically, who knows how old this guy is? Chronologically, he's older than he should be, like, by a lot. So, we don't know how. I haven't decided how old to make him. He could be very, very, very old. I don't think he's that old. Like, he's not like 1,000 years old. But in the lore of the game, a 200-year-old elf is considered old. Yeah. Yeah, Yeah, so so Valdemar would not definitely has, and he's been around too, just like Arander, just not as much, not for as long. They've both got some miles on them. Okay, I know. They've both got some miles on them. Yeah, he can. Valdemar can do that. He has the emotional and intelligence for things, thankfully, which is why he is capable of pointing out the hole. So for Priest Amara, you don't carry any love for yourself. So he's got a little bit of subtlety, just because by the uh virtue of age. Backpack. Hold on. But I also do want to have a to like. I need to start basically thinking out what could Valdemar do that would scare him off. Yeah, I mean he's and the life wisdom he's gained. He's only been with the priests of Mara for maybe um, and he said it was hard because the nightmare cult is they are evil, they are self-serving, they are they're all up. They will steal the memories of children and leave nightmares in their place. Twisted visions. And it's like, yeah, they'll steal your memories and they'll leave nightmares in your place. So it's like, they're awful. So they're probably all about being self-serving. They're very, probably selfish and cruel and, you know, uncaring for anything but themselves. And, I actually wrote in that, Valdemar and Arander met previously. Um, because in the game, Arander says the town where you meet Voldemort and get him in your party, is a town that Arander mentions that's where he met a priest of Mara. That's where he joined the Order of Mara after years of wandering. After he left the evil cult, he wandered around and did terrible things for a while, and then he joined the Bard's College in Solitude, and then he got kicked out of that when he discovered he used to be in the evil cult, and then he probably Morthal's right nearby, so I figure he probably wandered there to the tavern, got drunk off his ass in a bunch of pity, and then wallowing in anger and self-pity, and then met the priest of Mara. So probably what probably doing that, what troubles you, my son thing. Probably. Yeah, any outright affection would probably freak him out a little bit. So it has to be lots of slow little things. Like at any show of affection beyond like the clearly platonic would probably freak him out. And if he was feeling anything, Yeah, he get freaked out very easily. And even if he started to feel things, he would tell himself, no, no, no. He would convince himself he was wrong. Because he's been wrong about so many other things. This is why my disaster gays are being so hard to write. So yeah, the same town you meet Valdemar in is a town where you meet Arander. Oh, sorry, it's a town where Arander joined the cult. Joined like the cult. I call it is well, okay. If you want to say it, they're all essentially cults. They're all religious orders. That's where, except Mara's good. Yeah, yeah. He would probably dismiss it as he's just being nice. He's just helping. That's what he's like. He's friendly. He helps everyone. He's, Valdemar's very much, again, the golden retriever. He is a golden retriever. Very much golden retriever. Likes approval, likes making everyone happy, But Nords, if they want something, they go for it. Like, they're very strong-willed. Oh, yeah. So there's no, it's like you would have to deepen that bond. I'd have to deepen the bond really strong in order to, before Voldemort does anything too overt. And of my three companions, Arander is the only one who isn't, like, bound to me by anything other than he wants to. He can leave any time. The other two, they work for me. They were assigned to me. I can dismiss them if I want, but they won't leave unless I tell them to go. I mean, technically, because the game mechanics, so is Arander, but he talks a lot how he is enjoying travel. He's like, "Thank you for letting me travel with you." He's very chatty. Of all of them, he talks the most. Probably, and he will probably do something bullshit because a bullshit reason like, well, Valdemar doesn't have many years less left in him, and I don't want to like. He'd be like, he should grow old with someone, not me, because he won't age much in like the 40, 50 years, whatever Voldemort might have left. He's like, he will age a whole ton. Because Rander's definitely over 100 physically, but he's probably between 100 and 150 is his best guess. He honestly has no idea. I mean, he hasn't said that yet, but he has no idea. Yeah, he deserves to grow old with somebody, and no. Yeah, and the priests of Mara, I'm totally gonna write in. They serve the goddess of love. Of course, they can get married and such. That would be silly if they couldn't get married and have children, especially since she's the goddess of fertility. Like, I don't know a single fertility god in history I could think of who wouldn't want their like priests, whatnot, who wouldn't want their people to get married and have children. You know. Oh. yeah, Lydia's gonna be like, oh my god, you too. Like, she's not Ace. She's to be like, this is precisely what I don't want. This is why I am like that.